Hello folks and welcome back. We're continuing on from where we left off in the last video by looking at potting on the peppers. Now we'll be potting them on into these 1 litre pots here. And regarding the stock, I don't know what stock I've got, they just all seem to have grown in a mass, so until I actually pot each individual on, I'll just have to check the number and see what it's against the stock list. With the system that I use in here, there's 8 stations in the 2 trays, so I'd like to get a different variety in each station and duplicate it on the other one. But first of all, say, looking at these peppers, these are probably the best ones I've grown since I've been doing the peppers, and I don't know if you can see there's actually buds forming in there. So what I want to do first of all is prepare the compost for what we're going to put them in. Right, I'm just getting the mix ready. Moving over to the compost here, I've just got this normal, it's a clover multi-purpose, and in there I'm going to add a little dusting of vermiculite, and then on top of that I'll put fish blood and bone. Bear in mind the plants have been in the original pots they're in for I don't know how long, and I would say there's probably little or no nutrients left in there. So we do need to start feeding them now, and also the occasional watering. I will be giving them a very weak tomato feed. So that's roughly mixed up, yeah. And one more other thing I'll be adding there, and that's the mycorrhizal fungi. I'll be giving the root ball a dusting before it goes into the new pots. For the new growers out there, there's a little tip when potting on. You can of course just put the old plant straight in, then fill in. But what a lot of us gardeners do, especially with similar shaped pots, is put a bit of compost in the bottom, get a pot the same size as the old pot, pop it in the middle, then just drop compost around the outside, and this then will form a lovely shape, ideal size for the plant you're going to be putting in there, with very little root disturbance at all. If you have got a pot which is a bit on the tight side to pot onto, you can actually rotate this pot there 45 degrees so it forms like a diamond in the centre of the pot, and it gives you then room to wedge compost down the side. But in this case it's plenty good enough. Give it a tap to make sure you get the soil down to the bottom, press around to the sides, and then when you lift it out it forms a nice little shape in the inside there. And when you take the pot out off the old pot there, give it a squeeze, as you can see that's got a lovely root ball on. I'll just quickly grab the mycorrhizal. You can either put some in the pot or around the roots, it doesn't really matter, and then just pop it in. Just give it a pat down and add a bit more extra compost if you need to top it up. And another little thrifty thing is, because I'm using my numbering system, I'll be actually ripping that off there and sticking it back on there, so it saves creating a new label. So that's the peppers potted up now, about 35 in total I think. I've watered them in and also given them a light feed with a very, very weak tomato food. The tray them in is actually the base for the wicking system, and while I was at it I did the tomatoes as well. Again, I'm not sure how many's there, but I've fed them and all with a weak feed. Fortunate for being overnight, I can just pop them into the gazebo there, put a blanket on the table to protect it, and I just put the trays on top of there and close the curtains, and it gives them that bit of extra protection. Just want to share this iris. It's been in flower for, it must have been well over a week, and it's still looking really good. There's another flower bud just popping up as well. Right, I'm going to sow another couple of gutter peas. I'm not going to bore you with that, as you saw it a couple of videos ago, but the ones in the greenhouse, I don't know if you'll be able to see them there, popping their heads up quite quickly now, so it's just time now to get another one of these underway. I do get asked quite a lot if I do have drainage holes in these, and I don't know if you can see there, Yeah, I do. And a lot of people who use the gutters don't use drainage holes because they have problems with the roots coming out, making it difficult for them to slide out. But I've never had any issues with it. But the reason I do that is the first time I did grow peas, I didn't put drainage holes in, and I was a bit over enthusiastic with the watering, and consequently quite a few of them rotted. So now I put these holes in. If you do want drainage, I suppose what you could do is put a bit of kitchen roll in so it does gradually let the water out, but you've still got drainage. However, like I say, I've never had any problem. So get another couple underway. So with the tomatoes and peppers potted on now, they'll be growing at quite a fast rate. It won't be long before them in their final pots, both in the auto wicking system and the auto pots, which are down in the bottom greenhouse. Now in both of these pots, mixture in the bottom, I have a probably 2-inch layer there of the expanded clay pebbles, which are these things here. And rather than just put these to waste when I empty the pots, what I'm going to do is put them through the hurdy-gurdy, sieve them out, and reuse the pebbles in the new mix. Well, the clearing out of the wicking pots is well underway. These are the ones for the chilli system which goes in the greenhouse. I've still got the auto pots and the others down in the greenhouse on the allotment to do, but that shouldn't take long. Early on Saturday morning I had a little notification pop up on my phone, and it was for a company called Fullbrook Nursery. It's a nursery outside the city of Lichfield, not too far away from me actually. And normally this is a trade only where they supply garden centres. However, this year they've decided to do open weekend. There's 3 during the year, and yesterday and Saturday was the first time. There's another one in June and another one in September. So I decided to pop along, and I was just amazed at not only the size of it, but the amount of plants that they grow. And the prices wasn't too bad either. So I ended up spending a few quid. I bought a couple of dwarf rhododendrons, hebe, lupin, and also 2 poppies, one called Patty's Plum, and there's another one's like a whitish one with a bit of purple in. Anyway, I'll just spin around and show you. Here the dwarf rhodies, I'm not sure how well they'll show up because the sun's quite harsh, but beautiful colours. A nice little pink one there, and so there's another then, the purple in white hebe. The bees absolutely love that. And across there I've got me 2 poppies, and right on the end is the lupin. As you can see, I've got all my plants out now. There's me African marigolds, my runner beans. Just pan out now. It's amazing how these peppers and tomatoes have actually bulked up the last few days they've been out, because we've had some decent sunshine. See, I've really got my own little garden centre here at the moment. Well, the sun's continued to shine, and look at the forecast. We've got 3 or 4 days very similar to this, so I'm going to make the most of it. Still got plenty of work to do. In the greenhouse down in the allotment, as I said before, I've got the auto wicking pots to get them cleared. I think it must be about 16 or so more. Well, the other job I've got to do, which I want to get out the way fairly quickly, is the hanging baskets. So I'll toss up between which one. Why not join me on the next episode and find out? Until then, see you later. Bye for now.